The child-friendly interview room will debut the pre-recording of the testimony of victims to be adopted by judicial officers and prosecutors as an examination in chief during trial. This is the first of its kind in Kenya and aims to achieve the preservation and presentation of the best evidence of child victims. It will breathe life into Rule 16 of the Sexual Offences Rules of the Court, Rules 20 of 2014, which provides for the video recording of evidence of a vulnerable witness. In addition, the provisions of Articles 53 and 159, 2D of the Constitution, Section 63A, 78A, and 106 of the Evidence Act, Sections 42F of the Victim Protection Act, and Section 4 of the WPA, and Section 31 of SOA. I hope that this presentation of pre-recording testimony will ensure that children who are victims of crimes are afforded an opportunity free from intimidation, threats, or inducements in ensuring that justice in the preservation, insofar as preservation and presentation of the respective testimony is concerned. It will provide a jurisprudential moment and lay a foundation on the handling of such testimony by judicial officers. I urge the judicial officers to embrace these new developments. Further, this is an innovative approach to prosecutions as envisaged in my strategic agenda. Generally, child victims are vulnerable and require specific responses and approaches by the criminal justice sector duty bearers. This is due to the age, trauma, level of maturity, both intellectual and emotional, and individual special needs. It was aptly stated by Nathanson and Sewith 2015 at page 459 as follows: that coping with the demands of the legal system is challenging for adults, but even more so for children who are still developing the necessary cognitive, communicative, and emotional abilities to cope with confusion and distress at the same time as they are called upon to provide reliable information under formidable circumstances. In order to reduce secondary victimization and preserve the rights of child victims and protect the children from the hardship resulting from contact with the criminal justice system, measures should be implemented to reduce the number of interviews, statements, hearing, and necessary contact with the perpetrators and judicial processes. In addition, forensic interviewing techniques should also be utilized. Secondary victimization has long been defined as the additional harm occasioned to a victim not as a direct result of a crime, but through the response of institutions and individuals to the victims. Secondary victimization can occur at any stage, ranging from intrusive or inappropriate conduct during investigations to repeated narration of the incident during trial and sentencing. A child victim is most likely to suffer severe emotional trauma or intimidation and thus is disadvantaged as a witness if required to give testimony in accordance with the usual rules and practice of the court. Therefore, children ought to be accorded special protection measures to reduce the number of interrogations and unnecessary contact with criminal justice processes. The ODPP has been instrumental in ensuring access to justice for every child in conflict or in contact with the law, including the victims of crime. We have taken proactive steps to facilitate access to a child-friendly criminal justice system, which ensures that children who find themselves in such situations are treated in a manner that is sensitive to their status and needs. Further, I have made deliberate efforts to make the ODPP responsive to the needs of children who come into contact with us. Consequently, we have set up 8 children-friendly pretrial rooms across the country with the support of UNDC in Lamu, Mombasa, Kiambu, Makadara, Kibera, Ngong, and Kisumu. In addition, the ODPP has established the Child Juvenile Justice Division with highly trained prosecutors to specifically handle cases involving children. Furthermore, the development of the diversion policy and guidelines, standard operating procedures, prosecutors' guide to children in the criminal justice system, practice directions on legal representation of minors, among others, have provided an enabling framework and environment to facilitate access to justice for children victims and or offenders. The journey of children victims in the criminal justice system of Kenya is an arduous one. Not only is it long and laborious, but it leaves the victim extremely fatigued and psychologically soured. It has been argued that giving evidence in court is a daunting and intimidating act even to adults. One can only imagine how much worse this is for children and other vulnerable witnesses and victims. The prosecutorial, judicial, and investigation processes must therefore turn this tide, because for every child that finds himself or herself in the justice system, a caregiver, guardian, parent, or the government has failed, or a system has broken down somewhere. It is not a place for the children. It is neither a place for the child who is a victim or commits an offense. Children should be in educational institutions being prepared for various future leadership roles. Ladies and gentlemen, as the ODPP, we have placed interagency collaboration at the core of our work because of the invaluable partnership and support that the various critical stakeholders offer to the criminal justice chain. The pretrial video recording of the evidence of these vulnerable witnesses therefore will require the concerted efforts of each and every one of us, here today. It behoves us to ensure that the best interests of the child take center stage. It is upon us all to continue answering our clarion call to the fundamental principles of the need to serve the cause of justice and public interest, the rules of natural justice, constitutionalism, and promotion of public confidence, taking into account the best interests of the child.
I keep coming back to Kenya to work on rule of law and justice issues because Kenyans are dreamers, because the U.S. Embassy dreams with you, because we know that these dreams can be a reality and bring justice to the Kenyan people, particularly children. And so I want to thank everyone here who has believed in this dream and the importance of having children and other witnesses, as our last speaker said, in a safe place. Embracing technology so that witnesses will not have to tell their story over and over and over again. It is huge the difference that this child-friendly space will make. Calmness, peacefulness, and it is a privilege and honor for me to be here